Okay. What up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, and I have some big news for y'all. So, I decided to start my own business. The rain is brewing. I might have to move inside eventually. Alright, we're moving inside because there's so much noise out here, so I'll see you inside. And you might be wondering why I chose to make this video, and it's mainly just because I've benefited so much from other people taking me along on their journey through making YouTube videos about starting their own business, taking risks, especially people that started their own drone businesses, just learning from them. And so hopefully you guys feel inspired, encouraged, challenged, and maybe learn a couple things about the way I've thought through things and starting my own business, learn from my mistakes. And I'd just love to take you guys on this journey as I'm starting my own business. So thanks for being here. And so, yeah, I think I'll give you a little backstory. I graduated with a degree in mechanical engineering, and I always have wanted to move back to Indonesia, which is where I grew up. Got a tattoo on my arm here, just to prove that I did. But I grew up there, and I'd love to move back. And unfortunately, as a foreigner, you can't really get jobs that locals could get, like just a regular mechanical engineering jobs. So I kind of started to looking for some more niche opportunities or things I could become good at that would then allow me to get a visa to live in Indonesia and work there. And one of the best ways to do that is by starting your own business. So I started talking to one of my bosses at the time who was big into drones at Ohio State. He actually started the drone department there. He was telling me all the different opportunities, all the different industries that use drones, and I kind of was like super interested from the get-go. Took a class about drones at Ohio State, got my license, and then that just started me on my journey towards drones. I like technology, I like film, and so I just started going head on in that direction, and gave it a shot. And then I started working at the drone lab at Ohio State in the Center for Aviation Studies. We'd use drones for research, got to fly all kinds of cool drones. It was such a blessing to be able to work there and gain experience with drones. And then we also would train high schoolers. We'd start drone classes in high schools, and that was actually funded by the FAA. We had grants, and then unfortunately the grants ended due to the government changes, stuff with Doge, and so I couldn't keep working there. But I kind of saw it as a blessing in disguise because I've always wanted to start my own business, and it kind of forced me into taking that step. I was like, now's the best time. And so that's kind of led me to where I am today, and kind of what tipped me over the edge to actually start my own business. And there's a couple reasons I'll give for why I decided to finally start my own business. The first one is just like, now's the time. Now's better than ever. I'm single, I have low expenses, I don't have a family. It's like, if I want to try and start my own business someday and be entrepreneurial, now's the best time. And that was also what other people told me, which gets me to my second point, is I had good mentors, good people in my life that I knew would help me and support me through this, and also encourage me to take this step. One gentleman that has succeeded in starting several different businesses and who encouraged me down this route, and then also just my parents encouraging me to take this step, that they thought it was a good idea and worth a shot. And so, yeah, having good mentors was very helpful in knowing, yeah, I'll be all right, and there'll be people behind me if I try this. And thirdly, I have good experience with drones through getting to fly all kinds of drones at OSU, to doing freelance work last summer. I kind of got to realize, yeah, I can do this, and I've gotten a taste of many different industries in which drones are used, and I was confident that I could start a business and make money the same way I was doing for other companies or for Ohio State. And fourthly, education, that this is going to be an educational experience for me. I could have just decided to find a regular mechanical engineering job that's stable at some company I don't really care about and doing something I don't really care to do. Or I could probably learn 10 times as much in trying my own business within this 3 months than I would learn in a whole year working at a company that I don't really care about. And so just the educational side of it was convincing enough that I will learn so much if I just give myself 3 months. If in 3 months it's not going anywhere, I'll ditch it and try something else. But that was kind of some advice I got, that take this time as a period of time where you're learning and you're investing in this business, and see if it's lucrative or a possibility. And fifth thing that helped me just start my own drone business was realizing that starting your own business isn't really that crazy. In my mind before, it was like, oh, such a big leap of faith, and it's so risky and scary, and only, super successful, smart people start their own businesses. Until I realized actually people have been entrepreneurial and starting their own businesses for years and years, and that this is really not a new crazy thing to do, that it's actually more recent that it's become more normal to just work as an employee for a massive corporation. That wasn't a thing for most of history. Usually people have small businesses, they start their own, they work in small companies. That it's not crazy to start your own business, and also that there is risk in both. That in working for an employer, that you are putting all your eggs in that one basket, and if that industry fails, or that job that you have worked towards ends up being replaced by like AI or something, that is also risk in and of itself. Even though in the moment it feels secure, that in another way there's still risk with starting your own business, but you are finding many customers and you are expanding your skill set, and you are putting your eggs in many different baskets by trying to start your own business, and that there is security in that way. It's just the startup period is when you are in a more unsettling time period, and I think that's what keeps a lot of people from trying their own business. But it's something you can work on for your whole life. You can put as little or as much time into it as you want, and it's yours to keep. Unlike working for an employer, you're not keeping any of that really, besides getting paid. That the skills you give to someone else and your work that you do is given to the company. So those are the 5 things. And what am I doing now to start my own drone business? So I got an LLC. It's pretty simple, on a .gov website for your state. Then I got an EIN number for taxes. Started a business bank account. Started a business email, and then I made a basic website just to show potential customers kind of what I can do, the different services I can offer, and then also just a way to reach out to me. It's very basic. I'll probably improve it as time goes on, but you can check out that website in the link below in the description. And then I also made business cards, which I could show you now. And then I made a hat, which is right here. Chicking! Walker Drone Support. Let's go. Very easy to get merchandise on Vistaprint. It was actually awesome. I was able to go to a conference last week, and this hat came in the mail the day before, and it was supposed to come in a couple days later, but I got to wear it just to advertise wherever you go and to be able to kind of support your business. And then customers. That's kind of the next thing I got to do. And fortunately, I've already had a couple gigs lined up from even before I started this business. One being for an HVAC company, getting a time-lapse video of them installing a unit using a crane. Go there every couple weeks or during the different stages of construction to be able to make a marketing video for them, because the drone does the same exact flight every time, and it's great for marketing for them and also just to keep track of progress. And I've signed up for third-party apps like Fly Guys, as I've talked about before. They're good at helping you find jobs. And then I tried just starting to cold call companies, roofing and construction primarily right now. But that's going to be the hardest part, is finding customers. And that's kind of what I want to talk about next, is like what to focus on, what market, what industry. And I don't quite know yet exactly what my drone business is going to specialize in. But that's something that I'm gonna figure out over time to find like a niche in the market where it's not too saturated, and also it's something I can get really good at and market more clearly. So some of the options are like construction and progress monitoring, 3D modeling for any buildings of any sort, roofing, and then the next thing that I want to get into is thermal imagery. I don't have a thermal drone yet, but that's something that I'm looking into, and it's kind of the next step I want to take for roof inspections. You can use it for drone deer recovery even. There's a guy that started his own company called Drone Deer Recovery, like an hour away here in Ohio, and in 3 years he's already been extremely successful. And it's kind of an app nationwide where hunters can reach out to local drone companies such as my own that have a thermal drone and a pilot, and then they can go out and fly the drone to find a deer that has been shot but then been lost. And so it's in efforts to recover the deer, because so many deer that get shot actually are lost, which is unfortunate. But using thermal drones, you can find the deer and recover it. So people will pay $400 to $500 per deer to find it for them. So that's something I definitely want to look into, and I want to actually buy my thermal drone off Drone Deer Recovery and get in contact with them, because they could be a great asset. And he's actually got a great business model, and he started on YouTube, just showing drone deer recoveries, and he's great at training up and helping other young business owners start their business. And then thermal drones, actually in drone deer recovery now, they're using for pet recovery, and then another, there's just endless options with thermal drone work. And then a last thing that I might consider is FPV, more cinematic drone work for weddings, for travel videos, for business marketing videos where you fly through. There's just tons of different things I could get involved in, and I kind of gotta find my niche. But for now, I'm gonna keep my options a little bit open and just see what I start getting the most customers of, and also what I enjoy the most. So in conclusion, wish me luck. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you have, click the subscribe button. Keep following me on this journey. Maybe I'll be in Indonesia someday with a drone business doing who knows what, but that's kind of the end goal. And I'm happy I get to be here in the States right now, learning how to start my own business and all the different resources I have to help me do that in this country. And hopefully I can eat this month, have enough money to live off of. But it's kind of exciting in that way to be dependent on kind of what I choose to do. I don't just get a paycheck every week. I have to put in the work, but it's so satisfying to be able to find your own work and to use your skill set to make money. And also, pray for me, because I'll do my part, but ultimately God is my provider, and He's already come through in a lot of sweet ways. So pray I can find some drone jobs and eventually grow this to support family, and also to just bless other people in my community, maybe eventually hire people. So the options are endless, and I also just am glad I get to involve some people on the internet in this journey. And so feel free to reach out with questions. Yeah, I'd love to help you think through, what maybe you could do with drones, because there's not a shortage, and it's not a hide what I have and don't share. I think there's more than enough to go around, and I want to help you guys succeed in whatever endeavors you guys are taking on. So keep in touch, and see you in the next video. Peace.